It's A Wee Natter, the show with the very simple premise to make you forget that Sunday evening is a thing and Monday morning is just round the corner. We just try to stretch things out a bit, don't we? And bring a little bit of joy to the end of the weekend. And to do that, I'm Mark, and I'm joined with...
Jenny. As soon as she started talking, Sut's just left the room.
So our cat, in case you're not aware, Sooty is our cat, and she's decided... At this point, now that we've started the show, I say, I'm out. I'm not listening to this nonsense. I'm not playing the game. I'm sure she will be back. Because I'm going to ask, did you enjoy the partial solar eclipse that we had this week?
Yeah, I loved it. Me and Sut was out in the back garden. I was having me raspberry fizzy water. Sut was outside. I brought her a plate of bonkers out just to celebrate. We were both sat there in the garden. It was lovely. It went really quiet. Yeah. It had an eerie glow to it. But the pigeon was still on the fence eyeing up the food that was left out.
I thought the birds all went to sleep because they got confused and just go quiet.
Well, we had the bats. You know, we get bats do a circle round about 5 or 6 times and go off. We had a bat that circled round once and then realised it was a false alarm and went back in again.
So it turns out you had a better experience both than I had this time. And in 2015, which everyone seems to have forgotten there was one in 2015. We had the proper one in 1999 when it was a full-bore eclipse and we got to enjoy it properly.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of forgot we had another partial one fairly recently. But this time round, I was on a train, fun enough, and it turns out nobody cared that darkness was enveloping Peterborough and Grantham. And I don't blame them because it's fairly normal for those places.
Well, I was invited to a bit of a bubbles and nibbles because obviously where we live, we've got a country park on the development, haven't we? It's the old pit, basically. So a lot of people are going to the top. There's a nice picnic area. The light's gone. What's gone wrong?
There's just a little flickering light.
Yeah.
I assume it's our neighbours are running a little, grow house in one of their roofs or something like that. Because that's the only thing I could explain consuming all the electricity. Either that or everyone's got an electric car and the grid just can't cope with it.
So I was. Some of the ladies were invited up to the top for fizz and nibbles, and I thought there's 54 steps to get to the top of the first level.
Not that you've counted every single one of them.
I've counted. I thought if I go up, I'll be fine going up, but I won't be fine coming back down. If I've even had a couple of sips of fizz, I would not be getting down those. Well, I would, but not on my legs. Plus, I got to drive to work the next morning, so I kindly declare. And I can't have the nibbles because I'm on slimming wheels, so I was a bit of a boring. I just sat with Salt and I really enjoyed it.
You're not thinking straight. You should have gone up. You should have walked up and then roly-poly your way back down.
I would have done.
No, seriously, roly-poly your way down the smooth end. Don't go down the stairs roly-poly. That's a bad idea. But you go down the smooth way. Yeah. And you know what? Work's not till the next day, so you can change your gear. You're not as muddy when you come out of it. It'll be a little tickety-boo. The other thing that's going on that you might not be aware of if you're listening to the show, and this will be bonkers if you're listening on the radio, but you can enjoy it in vision as well if you watch it on Mixcloud. Search for A Wee Natter, and we have changed the camera position. We're doing a little bit of an experiment to see if it makes it more interesting having other things to look at other than my face when the songs are playing.
Hang on, I should have tidied up the office. What can we see in the background? Let me have a think now. I haven't been dusting for a while. Been out and about, you see. What can we see? That looks all right. Your desk's a little bit messy there, Mark.
It's always messy.
On your side.
It's always
messy.
Side's
fine.
Well, there's a choice. You can either look at a messy desk and lots of pretty lights, or you can stare into my soul.
Is the toilet roll holder out the way? Keep meaning to chuck it, but it's...
Hold on, toilet roll holder. You're going to have to explain this one. What is going on here?
There's a toilet roll holder that we've put in here. I don't know why it's ended up in here. Obviously, we don't want it anymore. It's going. But I don't quite know why it's not yet gone. It's still in the office with a little bin on the top of it.
Is this you telling me now?
Why is it still here?
That I was supposed to shift something that I didn't know I was supposed to shift.
Yeah, it's been here for like 2 weeks. I don't quite know why it's still here.
I will assume I was told at a point I was not paying attention. I can only apologise for that, and things will move at some point. We're also touching on the eclipse, which we've had Paul in touch saying it was cloudy here in Scotland. Plenty of folks about in North Ayrshire, but it was a no-go, meaning you couldn't see it, but he did enjoy the one in 1999. Yeah, that was a slight catch. If you were in the northern half of the country, you got just a sea of grey. You didn't get to see a lick of the of this. Well, you don't get to see a look at the sun in the north anyway, but you didn't get to see a look at the sun during the eclipse. So they ended up losing out. So I'm sorry to hear that one.
Do you know what I kept getting sent to me? You know the FC, obviously, that looks after Gwynny and George's page.
So to explain,
Simone.
This is a person
She
looking
calls
at...
herself the FC.
Calling herself the FC, which looks after a Facebook page for a cat, a very important
Georgia
cat.
Starbridge and Gwynny, the street mugger. So she's got two on the go.
So there's two cats in Starbridge. One's connected to the station, one's not.
No.
Am I following here?
That's the one. That's what.
Yeah, okay.
But because we often chat on WhatsApp with each other and send each other photos, and she was sending me some absolutely fantastic photos of the eclipse from her garden. And
wow.
My word, there was some stunning photos. Really were. We've gone dark. Have we gone dark again? Or was that just you?
It's just me flicking through screens.
Yeah.
I do apologise for that. I'm distracting you now.
You're distracting
as you were telling us about some glorious pictures of the eclipse.
Some really good pictures.
And knowing that this is not a visual medium, you'll just have to imagine what the eclipse looks like.
And there's a lady I follow on Facebook as well. She lives in the Peak District, and she was out taking some photos of the red grouse. And I'm sure she was saying that this is the UK is the only country that red grouse can be located or found.
Red grouse? I've heard of the famous grouse.
There's a red grouse.
He's the one at Christmas that goes boop, 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 boop.
I've just shown myself up. I'm sure she's a red grouse. But anyway, she managed to take a photo, and the reflection in the grouse's eye was the eclipse. How amazing is that? It's not Photoshop because she doesn't use AI. All her photos, that's a spiel on Facebook. All genuine, no AI used here. But you could just see the shadow of the
to get a photo like that is either a stunning level of skill, or it's enhanced in some way.
She doesn't enhance, apparently.
Well, okay.
And my hairdresser actually looked at the sun by mistake, he says, but he didn't damage his eyes. Well, my colours come out all right that I had done on Friday, I think.
We'll leave it at I think. And moving on very quickly, last week we were asking what is the greatest company name you've ever heard? You know, the punny names and things like that. And a few of you have been in touch, including Sam saying, are you keeping cool in the shade today? Well, we're trying. It's starting to cool down naturally anyway, isn't it? And I would say the most cheesy name for a shop in my town is Little Bo's Deli. I assume it's in Little Bo Peep. There used to be a place called Wiffy Woofies. That just sounds like stinking dog, if I'm honest with you. But I think I may have moved out of town now. Rubine, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Mr. Collie the fishmonger, and my favourite is Dr. Death the dentist.
Oh, my word.
That would put you off, wouldn't you? And somebody that's not put off has dropped us a line. It's Louise.
The cheesiest name for shops that I've seen have been both concerning sandwich takeaways. One was Boomer's Baps and the other was Me Julie's Baps. Really cheesy. But I suppose it draws the customers in if you think, it's a bit quaint, is that? You take care then, and I'll see you later. Bye. It
has been so long since I've heard an Ali G reference. She gets points for that.
Didn't we see something called Big Baps? I'm sure there was something called Big Baps.
I don't know about Big Baps, but I know when you head out into sort of East Derbyshire, East Derbyshire way, there used to be, I don't know if it's still there used to be a little sort of bun bat place, the sort of greasy spoon type thing called Only Fools and Sauces.
Only Fools and Sauces.
And they went with the Only Fools and Horses style.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that sort of thing. I may be misremembering. I want to say it's up Ripley direction. I'm not 100%. I don't go that way too often. It's been a while.
I saw a tattoo artist and they've called themselves Paint It Black.
Paint It Black. I will give them points for that one. If you're new to A Wee Natter, we do love to hear from you. We like to think we're friendly.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I will admit, I know I look a bit scary. I just accept it's part of my life. And Tom Elkins has been in touch saying he's new to us and has shared the stream. Thank you very much, Tom. That is always welcome. And we were on Daft Wee Names. I've just seen one coming in from Paul saying, met a tree officer from Leicestershire County Council once with the name Nick Fell.
Nick fell. That's good.
That's a
isn't it?
bit of nominative determinism. That's like somebody called Smith becoming a blacksmith or something like that, isn't it?
Well, I told you that when we was off air that I knew a chef that's name was Ian and his last name was Cook, so his initial was I Cook.
I cook. Oh, yeah, no, that's clever.
Yeah.
Although if you are coming up with names for your kids, do remember to check that the initials don't spell anything funny. You know, somebody like Richard Ian Pierce, you know, that could get a bit nasty. Just saying. And on a slightly different note, talking about getting food, I suppose that's connected. Did you hear about a certain President Trump and his little escapades on the way out of a flight that he was doing?
No.
No, did you not hear that he ended up hiding in a catering truck?
Did he?
No, seriously, genuinely, they've genuinely
I
thought.
absolutely hate that name.
They genuinely thought there was a serious, Iranian threat to him. So it's like, okay, we need to move him to a place where nobody knows where he is. So they put him on a catering truck, snuck him onto another plane, and didn't even tell the people that were in the original Air Force One, President Trump isn't flying with you anymore. So there was a whole bunch of journalists and things who, if something had gone sideways, would have been on the receiving end of what was for President Trump, but didn't end up. So there you go. So turns out he was sneaking around in a little catering truck. So that got me thinking, looking at the lighter end of everything, what have you snuck in or out of before?
Like when you're a kid and you sneak out. My front bedroom as a kid,
Genuinely?
had like a little concrete, I don't know what you call it, little platform over the front door. You could sneak out your bedroom window and then you could jump onto the concrete platform and then you could sort of hang off and jump down onto the grass. I don't know if that counts though. Snuck in.
Well, if we were talking about being naughty, we snuck onto the railways with our friends occasionally and stuck, like a penny on the line.
Snuck in, I don't know.
Oh yeah, everyone's nicked a bit of fruit or something like that. That's not. We all admit it's not the right thing to do, and as adults we never think about it, but as kids everyone's done it at some point. And I was on the goody two shoes end of the spectrum, and even I nicked the odd bit of fruit.
Snuck into the neighbour's front garden, and literally I was about 5 or 6. They had a completely full garden of roses. I used to like to take the rose petals, thinking if I put them in water in jam jars, I would get perfume. But the roses just went green and all mouldy in the water. I still thought it was good though.
I like the kid logic there of it smells of perfume, therefore, and perfume is made of water. Therefore, I've put this in water. I'll make perfume. It will work. It's genius. I love the thinking. Just a shame it didn't quite work out. So I'm going to open this one up to you, dear listener. What have you snuck in or out of? It doesn't have to be anything serious. It can be the lighter end of the spectrum. But if you snuck out of jail and want to tell us, we're not going to shop you to the authorities. We don't know what your real name is. We don't know all that sort of stuff. It's A Wee Natter, and we are asking you for your confessions as to things you've snuck in or out of. And we've just had a few in, including Paul admitting that, yes, he's been scrumping as well as a kid. We all did it. Yeah, I'll confess, I've nicked the odd bit of fruit or something like that from a neighbour. Probably about the only fruit I ate as a Scottish kid, but there we go. It was a winner. Also in touch, we've got Pawn Life saying, I snuck out of a lecture once. It was boring. I've not snuck out of a lecture, but I did almost fall asleep and got woken up by the lecturer. Okay, so I think sneaking out would probably been a better move there. Didn't quite land it the way I should have. Also in touch was Hank saying the Lionel Richie was having a concert in the 80s in Groningen, whatever it is, in the Netherlands. I apologise for butchering the pronunciation there. And I sneaked in via the back door of the venue because I got a key from the owner. I'll get you hobnobbing around, eh? So I could ask Lionel Richie's manager for an interview for the hospital radio and got one.
Wow.
He got one with Lionel Richie. That is showing off. That's what that is. Heck, you're getting away with that. Although he is admitting you wouldn't get away with it today with all the electronic badges and things like that. No, it would not happen today. Sandra saying, I snuck out of a study day for work once and skived off. Yeah, I don't blame you for that one. I think I'd do that sort of thing as well. straight off a Shine album or something like that, isn't it?
Did you know that? I've just downloaded Shine 5. That's my fave to Spotify. I tell you what, we could play the whole lot of me Shine.
You would.
Song.
That's the thing. It would just be pure. Well, it was before indie, really, wasn't it? Sort of pure indie-esque rock type sound, pop. I don't know what you'd call it. Because it's not quite Manchester either.
Was it before indie rock then?
I don't know. Or maybe it was the early days of indie. Maybe we put it.
Well, this was 5 I was talking about. Do you know how I got 5?
Because you got 1 through 4 and you weren't happy?
No, I didn't. The thing is, right, you know how we talk about Secret Santas? I know it's a long way from Christmas yet. But
talk about topics to bring up in the middle of August, but go for it.
But you know how when you do a Secret Santa, and I got to be honest, everybody at work dreads getting me because I can't hide a disappointment in my face. No matter how much I try, I cannot hide a disappointment in my face. I need to do the poker face practice and I can't do it. So sometimes you'll get a gift and you think, oh my God, what on earth am I going to do with this? This is the voice in your mind, but you try and do this is lovely, but it never works. It doesn't work. So every time I have a Secret Santa, people are dreading pulling me out the hat. But this one year, this guy, the team I was working on, I'd only been working with him for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And he picked me. And the only reason this stays in my mind, because I think of all the naff rubbish. Sorry if there's any work colleagues listening, but all the naff presents I've ever had as Secret Santa, this guy got me a calf Kidston, like a little jotter book.
Oh, right, okay, you like that sort of stuff. Kidston, no problem there, right, okay.
And a Shine album, which I thought, he's known me 3 weeks and he's bang on. Do you know what I mean?
Somebody was feeding him information. I suspect that's what happened there. And talking about feeding information is coming through the chat rooms that we have open here. With Tobias admitting that he snuck into a wet gig at Celtic Park back in 1997, saying it was well worth it, used a high-vis vest and a ladder. It's amazing how many places you can get into
with a high-vis vest. I need one.
Well, you don't even need to wear a high-vis vest. I've walked into places where it's like the first day of work at a new place. Literally walked up to the front door, chapped on the door going, I'm the new IT guy. And they just let me straight in and go, yeah, there's all the broken stuff over there. Go fix it. It's like, yeah, you should maybe check my credentials or something. No.
Would that work on a Coldplay concert?
You
can never afford a Coldplay ticket.
Although the problem with a Coldplay concert is if you do anything naughty there, it will go on fire across the internet.
Well, it will. Actually, that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah. And talking about on fire, you are enjoying the fact we are living in a tinderbox at the moment? Did you get the alert to warn you that we're living in a tinderbox?
You see, I turn those off.
Why did you turn them off?
Because I don't want all of a sudden something going and then I've got tinnitus for the rest of the night.
It's a wonderful little message, basically saying, yeah, try not to set things on fire when everything's so flammable. I'm like, why do you need to tell us that? And then I remember, oh yeah, they have to tell us that don't drink bleach as well. It kind of makes sense then. Although the reason I bring that up is Sandra's been in touch about the weather, saying our local forecast says we have a 20% chance of rain at 11 p.m.
Ooh.
We've had a little bit of rain here.
Well, not here. We was in Chesterfield/Sheffield. I don't know whereabouts Dobbies is. I don't know if it's Sheffield/Chesterfield.
So somewhere near the north, not quite in the north, but somewhere near the north. And we got little spattering of rain, but not genuinely over in about 30 seconds, and you wouldn't even know it happened.
No.
So that's what you might end up with there.
Oh, put me hood up. I didn't want my colours to run, did I? I look like a Chevy Trifle.
Jess, you should have your hair dyed. That's the important bit there. Argonauth saying loves a thunderstorm if you're inside.
Yeah,
yes.
You like that, don't you?
I do enjoy a good thunderstorm as well. Although one of the things I've learned about, and I probably shouldn't be telling you about this because it's weirdly addictive. There is a website you can look up where you can see all the thunder strikes in real time on a map. And you just look at it slowly moving across going, Doncaster's in for it. It's just going across. But yeah, I see that and go, yeah, okay. But yeah, if you're getting predictions of rain and you live in the southern half of the country, I wouldn't take it as gospel. It's going to work out well. I bring you more festive season is round the corner news. This time coming from Sandra saying they had tins of roses, heroes and Quality Street and celebrations in Morrison's the other week.
How much? Sorry, I got a bit excited then.
You want to know how much the tins are going for?
I need my cupboard. I might start my cupboard. Although I've actually started my cupboard.
I better not warn you then that Morrison's have had advent calendars out already.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy an advent calendar, but you know when somebody had the Terry's chocolate oranges for £1? Who was it that was selling them for £1?
Oh, whoever it was.
I got a couple because I thought £1's good, so I've already started. This is the earliest I've ever started my Christmas cupboard. But I might like to add those tins of sweeties to my Christmas. We were talking about this earlier today, weren't we? Because we were wondering what to do this year for our Christmas taster.
What?
We were. Well, I was wondering then. Maybe you weren't wondering.
I don't remember this conversation. This is news to me.
It's because I'm culling my lavender soon, and a lot of people are saying when you cull your lavender, a lot of people want it. If you're giving it away, they want it for like crafting and things.
Okay.
And I was saying, yeah, because we did shortbread last year, didn't we? And somebody sent us some wonderful shortbread with lavender in, and we were trying. I think it was Rachel Sambuca. I think. She sent it and it was lovely because I was saying, what else could you use lavender in?
I will warn you, you're a bit early there. We don't even start thinking about this stuff.
We don't think about it. It just popped in my head because the garden centre was selling doggy toys in the shape of Christmas puddings with your dog's name on.
We don't even think about this stuff till we're at least past spooky.
Not really.
It's too early.
It's too early. But we do need to have a think, though, what we want to do.
Open to suggestions. Although Sandra has been in touch with the price. Apparently it's $5.75 a tin of sweeties at the moment, which to me just sounds horrifically expensive.
Because aren't they normally like £7 or something?
I have no idea, but if we're talking about chocolate getting very expensive, one of the ones I used to do when they have the Cadbury shop somewhere is I'd go and get the milkshakes, which are supposed to be the factory seconds.
They used to be £4, didn't they?
Oh, they're outrageous. Like, you might as well buy a box of roses for the price they're charging. I've given up on it.
They've got something stupidly like more or less double, like £8.
Oh,
and
I've
that's
no
in the
idea.
outlet shops. It's like, that's not worth it anymore, is it?
I just walked out going, whoa, no.
I don't want it to be misshaped.
I don't want to sound like the Scottish guy that's tight because it's a bit of a cliche, but I did walk out going, what? I'm not spending any money on that. Although Cheryl has been in touch saying, I like advent calendar with chocolates. That's brilliant. And what about chocolate marzipan tasting this year?
I don't like marzipan, so that'll be all on you, Mark.
You say it like it's a problem. I'm open to that one. It's the middle of August, and we're already thinking ahead to the big C already. I can't believe we're doing this, but if you're not steeped in a wee natter lore, one of the things we like to do is pick one of the things that goes on your Christmas table.
Yes.
And then in the weeks leading up, we will taste all the various options that are available to you and see which is the best one. It started with mince pies.
Yes.
We've made some mistakes along the way. We went down the
the Yule log. I can't. The whopping sizes of the Yule log. They just kept going into work every Monday morning with me, and the lads were finishing them off.
And there was a cream one that we did.
A fresh cream Yule log.
Right at the very end.
It come out 19th of December, wasn't it?
That was a mistake.
It was nice though.
It was nice, but it was a mistake. We've done shortbreads, we've done all sorts of other bits and bobs. So there's a few suggestions coming in as to what we can go and have a shot at this year. Mince pies, so going back to the OG. Maybe do a twist on like iced mince pies or something like that. But you don't like them, so I don't know.
But no, that's what you can try them. Or maybe it doesn't have to just have mincemeat in. What about what do you call the frap something? Frappes? Do they do frappes in the winter? Or was that just a summer thing?
The only one way to
find
find
out.
But
no, it's a mince pie, but it's got that frap on the top. What is it? What do
I
you
have
call
no
it?
idea what you're on about.
It's like shiny nuts or whatever you call it. It's in the mince pie aisle.
Oh, okay. I'll take
Frappuccino. It's not a frappuccino, but it sounds like that.
I will take your word for it. Or different Christmas biscuits. I guess we kind of did biscuits last year. We focused, but it'd have to be a different kind of biscuits. So like fudge.
Fudge.
It's just fudge.
Which ones were the taste when we did the Colin the Caterpillar, but they had the Christmas version? Would that have been the Yule log?
That was Yule logs, yeah. Just to check, are you guys trying to kill us through diabetes here? It's all wonderful, sweet suggestions. That's all I'm thinking there. Fruit jelly sweets, lemon and orange segments, those sort of things. Licorice, all sorts.
You see, I don't like licorice all sorts.
That means I get to eat them all. Oh, that could be fantastic. Mints. Not as in mints, as in a C, but mints. As in, like, glacial ice mints, that kind of thing.
You see, I don't like mints either. I don't like
Do you like mince mints?
I don't mind a bit of that.
Because I genuinely, as a student, used to buy frozen mints from one of the major supermarkets. And on the back, the ingredients genuinely said, first ingredient, meat. Didn't say what animal,
what it was.
Just said meat.
Yeah, what about,
brilliant.
What about, like, Christmas ice creams, suckers, that sort of thing. When they start having the fancy ice creams made into like snowmen, Christmas trees, that sort of thing.
Ooh.
Maybe we would have to taste them straight away though. We couldn't leave them on the table like we do the mince pies and then say we're going to be tasting in like half an hour.
It'd have to be
straight away though, wouldn't it?
Well,
Christmas cakes, mini Christmas cakes.
I would eat Christmas cake.
I don't like Christmas cake, that's the problem.
We're all fine. So, going back, what about stand pies?
Eh?
It's a stand pies.
I thought it's a standpipe. I thought that was what you had when there was a drag going down.
Or going back to mince pies again. We've done the full loop at that point. It's an option. Or Christmas cheese board. That's been suggested.
See, I'm not a cheese person either.
Chris Curley suggesting, I was going to suggest pudding, but that's a bit heavy for testing. Last one I got was one of those small Tesco ones, most delicious ever. Now, you see, you can get small ones. Or you can have a little portion. The only problem is you won't be able to put cream on it because that masks about 90% of flavour.
Yeah, but you don't have to. The Christmas pudding, you could amalgamate it with like the bomb ones, chocolate bomb. They have the gingerbread one, don't they? The honeycomb ones. Yeah, maybe we could do that. So
Christmas puddings, Walls Viennetta.
Oh, I'd love to try Walls Viennetta. The whole lot.
I suppose you could do all the knockoff ones as well.
You could,
not quite Viennetta. And there's suggestions coming in that you could try all the Costa's, Starbucks and coffee shop drinks.
I think that's already done. I'd need
options.
Cheryl to help me out with that one because she likes some of the ones I don't like. The really sickly ones.
Yeah.
I think Cheryl likes the lot, I think.
Now, you see, coffee is one of the addictions I haven't got into because I know I'm terrible when it comes to addictions. I mean, you don't get to the sort of size that I am if you're not addicted to food in some way, shape or form. It's just reality. I'm one of those kind of addictive types. So I stay away from things. And the problem I think I would have is if I got into coffee, I'd become addicted to coffee.
Party food. You can go into Iceland, they've got the party food freezer. It's got all the... What about what about party foods?
You're just going to sit there with I'm imagining proper old-fashioned party foods, like a prawn cocktail and things like that going on, and and a trifle, and it's like, how are you supposed to compare these? Funny I should mention trifle. I've just seen trifles appear in the chat as the words came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Although it's a bit, 1980s of it, isn't it, trifle?
I don't mind a little trifle.
It's a bit old-fashioned. One of the things I never got about the video for this one with the cartoon where the woman is ripped into the cartoon world. How is she just so calm with the whole thing? She's like, yeah, this is a bit strange, but okay, I can live with it. I can deal with it. I would be properly freaked out.
I don't know, because if I was ripped into a cartoon with Old Morton, I think I'd be cool with that.
Is it just because it's got Morton Harker?
Yeah.
And that explains the posters that are up in her bedroom. I didn't put two and two together, but here we go. We have put the suggestions together. And talking about suggestions, a few more have come in for Christmas foods that we might want to take for a spin. Pigs in blankets along with stuffing.
Yeah, different types of stuffing. Yeah. Do
you don't look convinced by the idea.
100%. I'm still impressed with my little idea of all the little miniature Christmas type puddings.
Yeah. Well, if you're talking about lots of little miniature things, I've just seen a picture of some biscuits coming from Henk.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of 7 different types of cookies they have in Norway in December. And that's an interesting little twist. So you don't just taste one.
Yeah.
You taste 7.
What, in one go?
I guess you have to. You've got to try all of them, haven't you? They're called they're Christmas cookies. The traditional 7 kinds, such as gingerbread and a few others in there as well.
Hang, are you sending us a sample through the post in December? You can't laugh.
You're being cheeky.
Well, we won't be able to get them otherwise if they're on the list.
The internet is a thing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You can get all sorts of things delivered nowadays. It's not just...
Do we know what we're asking for?
If we just say Norwegian biscuits.
The ones that Hank suggested. Will Google know?
We'll figure it out. We'll suss it. We'll make it happen. So yeah, there's been a few suggestions in there as well. Bringing all that to a close now, what do you think you'd want to go for? Or is this all too much and you need to wash over you?
No, I'm happy. I'm thinking the miniature different types of Christmas puddings, you know, the little really tiny ones that we can just bang in the microwave for a couple of seconds while you put the music on. I can sneak down, bring it up. The
slight problem is if we've got a leaky microwave, we'll knock ourselves off air when you fire up the microwave, because microwaves have a habit of knocking Wi-Fi off, you see.
Do you eat them cold then? Can you eat them cold or not? Maybe
we will find out the hard way. And if we're not back for the second week, we know you can't do that.
So with that, I'm thinking the little miniature Christmas puddings, because then you can do, like I say, like the chocolate bombs, the honeycomb ones, can't you? The gingerbread ones, thinking all of that sort of thing. What about? I don't know. There's not many Christmas type crisps out, is there?
Here's a little twist coming from Sandra. You could do Stollen and other European Christmas treats. So you're trying things from different countries, not different suppliers. And you go, who does the best Christmas thing? The only slight issue with that... I
don't like Stollen, though.
Well, we'll find some other ones. Yeah. Europe is a big place. The only problem is when you get to Eastern Europe and they start to do like aspic and that kind of stuff, do we start to step away at that point, or do we go all in?
I think I might do my Christmas puddings.
You're not an adventurous eater, are you? We're learning that so much. We are still seeing other wee suggestions coming in for Christmassy foods, such as there's a bit of gingerbread in there, iced gingerbread. That's addictive.
That sounds nice.
Not a good idea. I know that's addictive.
You like the old, what's that Scottish one that you have, tablet? Did they do a Scottish version of tablet?
I will definitely be going...
not a Scottish version of tablet, a Christmas version of tablet.
I need to learn how to make this stuff at some point. And Kranaken, which is I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the yogurt with the raspberry ones. At some point I need to learn how to make these things and then give myself diabetes in the process. I'll be honest, that's how it's going to play out. And also, it turns out there's loads of other bakery choices. There's things like panettone, Stollen, and there are a few different brands and options there as well. So we'll see what it lands on. The options are all coming in, but staying on the topic of food, we can't seem to get away from food. We're never addicted to food. It turns out Jenny's got a problem in the kitchen.
Wow, yeah, I have. So I'm the first to admit that I'm really no good in the kitchen when it comes to cooking. You're not too bad.
I can follow instructions.
Yeah, I can to a point, but then I think that don't feel like there's enough honey going in there, and I pour too much in, and then the flapjacks basically come out like a brick, and then you throw the tin away with the flapjack. Yeah.
Or use them to pelt at kids when Halloween comes round. Options are out there. Yeah.
So I'm doing the Slimming World at the minute, and I like a fried egg. Well, I like any egg, really. And the way that they cook a fried egg is they use the fry light, don't they, in a frying pan?
If you're not familiar with fry light, it is the same sort of cooking fats that you'd use anyway, just done through a little spray nozzle thing.
Yeah.
So you get tiny amounts of it.
Yeah, how much are you supposed to spray on? I have no idea. But if somebody out there can tell me how you fry an egg in fry light, I've absolutely got no idea, because I've tried so many times and failed. So now what I do, I spray the frying pan and I put my egg in, and there's no fat to flick over like you would normally do and cook the whites and the yolk and things. So now I get my little spatula and I try and do a flip. So I turn it upside down now to try and cook it. But that results in a busted egg yolk, which I always feel I need to give that to me and you try again and give you the one that's kind of not bust, but the egg yolk's going all over the shop, all over the spatula. I've tried spraying the fry light on top of the egg yolk as well. I don't know why I think that's going to work, because that don't work either. But I'm just wondering if anybody's out there, how would you cook an egg with fry light or something similar so you still keep him on the plan?
The answer is you don't, and you just absolutely cake it in fat. It's like those people that take fat off of bacon and things like that to try and save a few calories. It ends up tasting a bit
never done
plain
the fat.
because all the flavour's in the fat.
In the fat. I mean, we do a pork chop sometimes, and I just have the meat bit in there, and I leave you, cut it round, and you have the rest of it, don't you? All Sut does.
Well, some suggestions have come through on the chat, including from Dubai, saying fry light, wee bit of boiling water, and after a minute in the pan, the pan lid on, and you've got a nice yolky egg.
Wow, so boil some water.
Yeah, a little bit of water.
What, cold water or boiling water? Sorry, did we say?
I assume it's going to get hot when you put it in there.
So put some water in with the fry light.
That's how I'm reading it. It's also suggestion coming in from PG31 Cat, a new frying pan with a lid.
I ain't got a lid.
I've got a lid somewhere.
Why does the lid cook it then?
Or you can get one of those pans that have got non-stick coating. And
I got one of them.
So you don't need the frying. Yeah.
But how do you cook the yolk though? If you
or the trick is you have to let the pan get very, very hot. That's the one that Chris Curley's saying.
And then does that cook the yolk as well?
I assume so. Or you could just have poached eggs. That's the suggestion.
I can't do them either unless you get them little poachy bags.
It's a bit wasteful, but that's the way I do it.
Yeah.
I know you're supposed to be able to do it in boiling water. And
how do you do that and swirl it round? I've seen them do it where they put a little bit of vinegar in the water and then they do a quick swirly round with the water with a spoon and then you put your poached egg in.
Yeah, I can't do that.
My pan comes out looking like it's been whitewashed.
It turns out we are seeing all sorts of advice on how to make eggs, from everything to get them scrambled, and full detailed ways on how to do it with cling film if you want to do poached ones and whatnot. So we're going to have to give those a spin. And top of the list will be the suggestion from Argonaut saying, I think you should go out for breakfast and let somebody else cook it.
Love it.
Just seen a message coming in from Sandra saying, has anyone else noticed that the leaves are falling already?
We have, haven't we?
Yes, so we've got a little hill round here, which you can see a view across forests, including the world famous Sherwood Forest.
Yes.
Or what little remains of it nowadays. It's not that big. It's a tiny wee place nowadays. And we are starting to see bits of orange and amber starting to leak their way into the forest alarmingly early. Yeah, it's a bit kind of crazy, that, isn't it? Yes, also had a few other comments related to food, didn't we? We saw one coming in, didn't we?
Yeah. Cheryl says you have to have a look around the European shops for Christmas food ideas to try.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we're going to do European shops, the only options we've got around here are generally Polish ones. And I kind of like the idea of going in there, just randomly buying things we think look good and have no idea what we're buying. That would be wonderful, fantastic. Although, because I work with a lot of Polish lads, I thought I'd try and learn Polish. I thought I'd go, try and learn a bit of Polish. Sticking point is, not many places doing Slavic languages. About the only one that was around here, it was a course in Russian at one of the universities. I thought, that's not quite right. It's in the right direction, gone too far. So I thought I'd try learning a bit of Polish on Duolingo. Utterly useless. Couldn't even hold a conversation, say hello, do more than little phrases. So there's my advice on that one. If you are going to learn a language, go get some proper lessons, not just doing the online game stuff. Although back again to, you were talking about the forest changing colour.
Yeah.
Just had a message coming in from Paul saying, for Jenny and Sandra, no leaves falling up here, but Jenny, note the big dahlia to the right. He's showing off a picture of this big dahlia.
Wow.
I assume it's a dahlia. She seems to be very enthralled by the big dahlia.
I have a big dahlia.
You do?
I was watering the front garden with a hose pipe, and unfortunately, Paul, I've left the dahlia in a pot in a precarious position, and I've snapped the dahlia in half.
Oh.
You keep telling me I need to move it, don't you? And I do need to move it, but I've now snapped my dahlia. So I brought it in and stuck it in a vase. So it's a cut flower dahlia now.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I have no idea which plant she's on about.
It's a big yellow one. The dahlia.
No idea. I've just seen a message coming in on the chat that's made me have to inquire with my PDA as to which decade we're in. Because it said, saw earlier this week, there's a new Wimpy is opened in Fraserburgh.
Fraserburgh? Where's Fraserburgh?
It's in the northeast of Scotland. And it's been such a long time since I've been there, but it's one of those places we used to kind of go past, but not really, because we've got extended family that are up in the Elgin area.
Yeah.
And we used to live way down in Fife. And one of the routes we used to go up there was curve around Aberdeen, make sure you don't go towards Fraserburgh and keep going. Except my sister, the very first time she drove that route that we'd been travelling for decades, she then, when she went and did it herself, ended up in Fraserburgh rather than Elgin.
Something I'd do.
Not very good at the old navigation, but I did have to double check, and it turns out it's not a brand new Wimpy, it's a refurbished Wimpy.
Is it? Does it still do the benders in a bun?
I assume
I had to ask.
they still do something like that. Because
The brown derby. Is that what you used to call it, the brown derby? Oh, I love that dessert.
I've genuinely not thought about Wimpy since the one down here closed. How long ago was it?
Peach Melbers. I don't know why, but the dessert list is still in my memory.
Because there was one that was open a few years ago still in
Broadmoor's fast been knocked down.
But yeah, they've knocked that down.
Yeah.
And they haven't reopened. No. But we need to sort it out. Maybe we need to open a Wimpy franchise. Just considering it's
There's something about it, wasn't there? It's the only fast food place that took your order.
Well, the thing I found, you remember when McDonald's started to do bringing your order to the table? They started to do table service. In my head, my instant thought was, oh, this is very much like Wimpy, isn't it? I don't know why this song specifically is making me think about this, Joshua Caddis and Jesse, in case you were wondering. But I've noticed that if you're paying attention to chart music and what plays on the radio and things like that, I know most of us have given up on that, but occasionally you get exposed to these things. There seems to be a lot of actual genuine country music seeping its way into...
Yeah.
It was one of those things that, we used to get a bit of country crossover, a bit of the old Shania Twain, a bit more recent times, Taylor Swift,
yeah.
But now there seems to be like proper actual country music in the charts. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I know that song isn't country music, but for some reason it just popped into my mind. There you go. That's how my brain works sometimes. If you've never heard the full version of the song before, it's kind of revealing just how much they chopped it down to make it work for the TV show. DJ Aziev and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, You're Home to Bel-Air, which I already had a copy of because I'm going to let you behind the scenes, not only in television, but also in radio, because we used to run a little online station called Solid Radio. It doesn't exist anymore because it cost too much money and became too popular. So we do this instead. It's a good bit of fun.
Yeah.
And we used to do a little 90s section. So it'd be an hour of 90s music every day. And this is properly old-fashioned stuff. There used to be a concept in radio called spice songs. So they're songs that you don't want to hear all the time, but they had a little bit of spice to you. The little thing, hear them once a month or something like that. It's like, oh wow, I've not heard that in a while.
Yeah.
That was one of the spice songs that so that's why I had a copy of it. So occasionally I'd just burst in and go, oh, I love that TV show. And you wouldn't hear it for ages, and then they come back and you get, oh, I love that. But that's old-fashioned. You don't do that in radio anymore. A bit like you don't do, what was the other old-fashioned thing? Power at the top of the hour.
You see, I like that.
If you don't understand this one, just think about, when you come out of the news and you've just had a depressing news story.
And yes.
Rather than playing a slow song, every time you come out of the news, you big a big, punchy, feel-good song. That's an old-fashioned thing. Power out of the top of the hour.
Yeah, see, I quite like that, but that has slipped up a couple of times when we've had presenters that have basically, you've come out of a quite somber newsreel, like say,
well,
2 minute silence and somebody's banged out with a bit of Def Leppard or something,
Yeah, even when you tell them not to, that's always fun.
Yes.
But I've had accidental funnies as well, where just because of how you program the computer's playing the music, I ended up with, I think it was the announcement of Margaret Thatcher passing, and we came out at the top of the hour, admittedly in Nottinghamshire, so we got away with it. So I got out of
Cool
that news break. Yes, Cool in the Gang celebration. It wasn't planned. It's just what happened. It was coincidence. I didn't know the news story was going to break, and when I told the computer that's a good song to open with, and that's what I landed on. when you're hearing songs like this, I do wonder what else we're going to be seeing breaking into the mainstream that's got that country vibe about it. Although she did mention Tennessee. We did. Myself and Jenny went on a big American adventure a few years ago, and we did pass through Tennessee.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
But we didn't stop at Dollygate.
You mean Dollywood?
Oh, Dollywood. Sorry, I thought it was Dollygate.
Dollygate is something that we hope will never happen, because that would be there's some sort of scandal involving Dolly. I can't see that happening, but we literally drove past the gates of Dollywood, and we couldn't convince ourselves to go in.
Do you wish you did now?
Maybe we need to do another big American adventure. Take you, dear listener, and a camera and things with us, and introduce you to some of the sights and sounds. And Jenny's
New York again.
Jenny's opinion on New York, it's fantastic. I think New York broke you. You're more of a DC person.
I
That's what I've
liked
learned.
DC, yes, I like DC, but New York was just full of people that just need to learn to drive, man, I tell you. Every 2 seconds somebody's beeping somebody else, and I didn't like it at all.
That was your introduction to the American road system as well, wasn't it? Because what was it, straight out of LaGuardia?
Oh, God. Keep it.
Yeah, so there we go.